Welcome. Thank you for being here. Please give me your first name, your full name, Auntie.
Jeanette Saeed Bajalia.
Okay.
Mother Yousef Bajalia.
Okay. And you're both from Jacksonville, Florida. What is your hamula?
Hasasni.
Okay. Auntie, can you tell me where and when you were born?
I born in Ramallah, 1945.
Okay. Wamo?
July 12, 1943.
Okay. Auntie, what's your mother and father's full names? What's your mother's full name?
Maryam Salim Mislih.
Okay.
Saeed Saliba Bajalia.
All right. Wamo?
Yousef Saliba Bajalia. Faride Butrus Shahada al-Bater.
Okay. So do you know your grandparents? You remember your grandparents on both sides?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What are their names?
My grandparents,
Yes.
Saliba Farhat al-Bajalia, Hanna Yaqub al-Bater.
Okay. Well, Auntie?
Salim Mislih. ستي اسمها نجمة طوطة.
Okay. All right. So, what did your parents do for a living in Ramallah? Ammo, you want to start?
My dad didn't have a job in Ramallah because he was kicked out of Jerusalem and had lost his business. And so he was working on how to immigrate to the United States to find work and to come to establish himself over here. So he didn't have a job.
So you were born in Jerusalem
Yes, I was born
in
Jerusalem.
1943.
Right.
And so in Jerusalem, what did your father do there?
He had a beautician shop in
Okay.
Shara Yafa, which is in the heart of Jerusalem. And he had 14, 15 employees there, and he was doing very well. And we were living in a good situation until the war broke out with the Yahud, and we lost everything.
Was that 1948?
That's 1948.
Okay, so then you moved to Ramallah.
And we moved to Ramallah.
Okay.
And we lived with our grandparents because our parents left and came to the United States in 1948.
Okay.
So then we stayed with our grandparents until they sent after us,
Okay.
which was about 5 years later.
Okay. Well, Auntie, you were born in Ramallah.
Yes.
Okay. What did your father work with?
His brother.
His brother.
With your brother. Okay. All right. And what section of Ramallah did you live in? What's the name of الحارة?
احنا بكينا ساكنين عند دار الغزالة but we move in دار مسلح after أبوي مصافة.
Okay.
عندي خوالي
Okay.
عند دار سيدي سليم مسلح.
Okay.
بتكون الحارة مسكوبية.
Muscovia. Okay. And do you have any? What's one of your favorite memories growing up in Ramallah?
You want to know the story?
Yes. Tell us a story.
Well, I was maybe 9 years old. I used to go steal fruit and sell it مشان نشتري بزر ينادي على البنات
Uh-huh. So you stole fruit from your neighbor?
from ستة لكريم الدجاج
Okay.
كريم حنا بقولوا لك دار الدجاج
Yeah.
بس هين غيروا قالوا كريم حنا لستة شو يستو حزينة تاخدهن على السوق وتبيعهن تسوي مصاري.
Uh-huh. So when did you ever get caught?
Of course شي بدك تيجي تقول لأمي وأمي حزينة تقول لي أنا خلص راح أضربها وما خليهاش تيجي وأمي بدك تضربنا تموتني في السير بس تاني يوم أرجع أسوي سير.
So you were kind of a rebel, Auntie.
tomboy.
Tomboy. Well, Amma, what do you have? Any favorite memories of your time in Ramallah?
My time in Ramallah, I was happy with the school that I was going to.
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends. The Kulliyah Ahliya Madrasa, it was open to Muslims as well as Christians. I had a lot of Muslim friends. I couldn't wait to go to school so we can play soccer, and I really enjoyed myself. I didn't miss anything except as being a child,
Yeah.
We had fun playing. And the day I left over there, I really cried because I was going to miss all my friends over there. That's all I knew.
Yeah. You really grew up in Ramallah with your grandparents because
Yes.
your parents emigrated to this country
Right.
short after you left Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for you to grow up, I guess, without your parents in Ramallah.
Yes, it was. But going to school, you learn with your friends to get along fine. The hardest time for me was whenever I had to come to the United States. And I had to bring my 3 sisters. And when they put us on the plane, we left Kalandia airport that you don't see no more.
Right.
And we went to Beirut for a couple of days. Our Mamu family all came with us and put us on the big plane to go to the United States.
Just you and your younger
Just
siblings?
me and my sisters only, that's all.
And how old were you?
I was 9 years and 2 months.
And you flew with your 3
And
sisters?
They put me on the plane and سيدي صليبة تلميذ انت زلمة بدك تدير بالك على خواتك, and we trust you. And so
Wow.
we
Just
got
imagine.
we
Yeah.
got to Beirut and they put us on the plane. Habibi, when you get to New York, your dad's going to be right there. You don't have nothing to worry about. He's going to be there looking for you. So I told Sipti, I said, I don't know what my dad looks like. So she gave me his picture. She said, this is your dad. And if it's not this guy here, don't go with just anybody. So I carried that in a little shanta they gave me. And we got on that plane. And it was a 4-engine propeller. No jets at that time. This is 1954 now. And so they said, when you get there, we got there 5 hours later. And I'm talking to my sister, I'd given a shuf abuy. I took out the picture. I was excited. Some Arabic guy was on the plane. He said, Habibi, this is not New York. This is Istanbul, Turkey. I said, what the hell am I doing in Istanbul, Turkey? They told me I'd go into New York, I had no idea there'd be stops. They didn't tell me that.
Okay.
So we got scared then because we thought we were going somewhere else. We get off the plane, we sit at the airport for I don't know how many hours. And then they give you food, which we were scared to death. We didn't eat nothing. They gave us kayak, which you've never, to take with us for 2 days and 3 nights. We didn't eat nothing. We were so scared.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so my sister started crying. They want to go to Siti because they don't know their mom. And so I didn't know them either because they left us. So then the next flight, we got back on the plane. It was in Zurich, Switzerland. So we sit there. We didn't know we had a 14-hour delay, and then the plane changed there. That's something I didn't know.
At
We-
9 years old, how
Well,
would you know?
I saw the plane leave, and I said, خواتي, I said, كذانا خلاص. Because طيارتنا راحت, and the stewardess can't tell us nothing because we don't know how to speak English. And there's no Arabic guy to tell us anything.
Oh my gosh.
So here's my sisters crying. Here come the stewardess bringing us baskets of candy and telling us, so many more hours. How do we understand? We had no one tell us anything. And so we suffered until they put us on the next plane that's coming. And then I said, okay, you're going to New York. No, you're going to Shannon Airport in Ireland. So you sit there for another half a day. And you sit there and wonder, where are we going now? Then you go to the Azores for another 10 or 12 hours. And that's the last flight you go to New York, another 12 hours. You could see the boats down there because it's not flying too high. Finally, after all that, we got to New York. And then we got there. You go into this room, all these guys wearing white jackets, doctors checking your eyes and ears, making sure you're good health. And then these 2 guys come up to you and they say, but then I said, are you my father? And he starts crying. Very emotional time. So that's how I met my dad, and There was Isa Abdullah. They took us
Yeah.
to their home.
Yeah.
And my mother was here in Jacksonville.
Mhm.
They had come from San Francisco. They had gone there for 5 years.
Yes.
So that's where they were for the time we were back in the old country.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we caught the train the next day and came down here. And that's how we got here.
Okay. That's quite a story.
Well, I don't know if I would send my kids at that age.
No.
I mean, we were safe probably, but we didn't have anybody to encourage us. We were scared out of our wits.
Right. You didn't know how to speak
Didn't know.
English,
No.
and you had 3 sisters that
Right.
and you were only 9 years old.
That's right, 9 years old and 2 months. My birthday's in July. I came here in September.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
that's how it was.
Wow.
And
That's
so it was terrifying, terrifying, especially when the planes took so long. Not like today. I can go to Ramallah in 12 hours.
right.
Imagine sitting in airport after airport for hours,
And
not
know.
knowing whether when the plane in Zurich changed, we thought that was it. We don't know where we're going to wind up with.
Mm.
That's how our mind was going.
Right.
How did we know the planes were going to change? We're going
Right.
to change planes.
Right.
No one interpreted for us.
Yeah.
So it was really a sorrow story, if you want to know the truth.
It does sound sad.
It is
It does
sad.
sound
Yeah.
sad.
I mean, you see your dad for the first time and your mother that you didn't know, and they start crying. It just makes you feel like,
Mm.
this world has really got a lot of different ideas.
Yeah.
But thank God we came here. We're doing well.
Yeah.
Everything is good.
Well, thank God. But let me ask you, that is quite a story, and it's remarkable how you came to
Yeah.
this country at such a young age, and with your
Well,
sisters, and
Yeah, I had to come whenever they sent after it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember where your house in Ramallah, what it looked like? Was it 2 stories, 1 story where you lived in Ramallah? It was just 1 room, and and you and your siblings lived in the house.
I know
How many siblings do you have?
I got 4 brother and 2 sister and me.
Okay.
7 altogether.
Seven kids,
Yeah.
And أبوي بكى في أمريكا.
and your father was in this country. So you all lived in that house together.
Yeah.
Okay. And your grandparents, did they live with you?
No.
Okay.
No.
They had their own house.
ميتين.
Okay. Well, Amal Badr, in Ramallah, you lived with your grandparents.
Right.
And you and your 3 sisters.
That's it.
And then, okay, very good. Do you remember if your homes were near, you said the
No.
area?
No, she's in Damascus. We were في الاريا they tell حارة دار إبراهيم.
Okay.
في المنطقة الجدول عند دار الغزالة.
Mm-hmm.
فرح أبو غزالة we had a 2-story house. We lived upstairs and دار الغزالة next to us.
بيقولوا لهم المخزن.
Basements.
In the basement.
In the basement.
بس بيقولوا لهم المخزن.
But
I
people
see.
lived under there. So
Okay.
every day I would walk from there to the Catholic school and do my school and walk back home. And it was Dar Ibrahim because Dar Akil was there, Dar Derbas was here. I can tell you every house that was there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the area. Hers was different. El Maskubiya, their area is Dar Misleh, Dar Jagab. It's a different Hamule.
Uh-huh.
They're from Dar Jagab. Eḥna from the
Yeah.
Hassasna. So
Yes.
we're closer to
Dar Ibrahim.
Dar Ibrahim because
Yes.
Imam and Dar Ibrahim.
خالي زيادة.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sit
دار
them in Dar
إبراهيم
al-Bahia.
سالم.
Yes. Right.
You know.
Okay. So in Ramallah, Auntie, do you remember? Did you have an easy time traveling around Ramallah?
Walk.
No trouble at all.
Walk.
You walked everywhere.
Every day على المدرسة على السوق
Mm-hmm.
أروح مع صحباتي walk.
Okay.
Walk.
Tell me about your school. I want to hear about both of you. You went to the Catholic school?
No.
Okay. What's the name of the
I
school?
went to the معارف بيقولوا لهن
Uh-huh.
وبعدين صرت أروح عند الرهبات.
Okay.
لما أبوي سافر صارت أمي تاخذنا عند الرهبات. غير.
Okay.
It's
So tell me.
the Ma'arif is a public school
Okay.
for the Arab, and they speak Arabic there.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't speak English.
So you didn't know English?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So tell me about your teachers. Were they, did you enjoy school? Did you like
Yes.
school?
Yes.
Okay.
I like school.
You liked it.
My teacher.
Were you a
she
good
was.
student? You behaved?
Yeah, because I have to behave because الكاثوليك school رهبات نعم والرهبات I mean
Yes. They're strict.
خوفونا
Yes.
يقولوا لنا إذا بتعذبوا رايحين نحطشن في بيت الفيران.
Yeah, I know.
رات هاوس.
They'll scare
Yes.
them.
which is أنا رحت عليها بس هي مش رات هاوس.
Yeah.
Dark room.
Yes. So you were in there. They put you in there one
Yeah,
time.
put me, yeah, حطوني because كنت لك بكده.
She was a naughty girl.
But you were a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Ah,
هي
tomboy.
مش فيهاش فيران.
I know, but
بس
it's just,
عتمة
they scared you.
وحشوش
like that.
15 minutes فيها.
Yes.
وبخوفوا الأولاد.
That's the time out.
Yeah,
Yes.
time
That's
out.
it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, Amo, you liked school?
I didn't have that problem. I enjoyed school. I couldn't wait to get to school to play. You know, we played marbles with the kids. The thing about my school at that time, there was no خوف زي ما بتخاف اليوم because Ramallah was still Ramallah.
Yes.
We were all Christians. We didn't have anybody from the outsiders.
Mm.
So everybody knew everybody. هذا من دار إبراهيم, هذا من دار جهب, هذا من دار فرحات,
Yeah.
دار الغزالي. We all knew each other.
Yeah.
We had few people, Muslims come from the adjacent areas. They wanted to come to school and they became good friends. They didn't live in Ramallah. They lived outside of Ramallah in the villages surrounding Ramallah.
And then they emigrated.
And they caught the bus and they came back. They came
okay.
by buses from
I see.
all the areas there. So we got along fine. And that's the thing that I don't see now after immigrating to the United States and now go back to Ramallah to see it the way it is.
Mm.
It's not the same.
It's not.
It's not the same.
It's
We
not.
were all one big family at that time.
How? So you've been back to Ramallah since you emigrated.
Yes, we've been there several.
How old were you, Auntie, when you came to this country?
16 years old.
16. Who did you come with?
I came with my father and my brother Saleh.
Okay. And the rest of your family stayed in Ramallah?
نعم.
Yeah.
The rest of your family were still in Ramallah?
أمي وأخوتي وخواتي ضلوا في رام الله.
Why did you and your and Ammo
أجا
Saleh?
أبوي بعد 5 years لما أجا أمريكا
Uh-huh.
ياخدنا بس ما قدرش ياخدنا كل العيلة.
So شوية at a
بس
time.
أنا وصالح أخوي.
Are you the oldest daughter?
I'm the oldest daughter.
Okay.
And her brother was the oldest
And the
son.
oldest son.
He took the two older ones to establish himself here,
Yes.
to open up a house, and then he sent after the
And then
rest of them.
sent. That's how they did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how they did it.
Yeah. Okay. So when you came to this country, Auntie, you were 16. You didn't learn. You didn't know how to speak English.
Little bit.
Very little.
Yeah.
So did you fly like on Mobada, or did you take the
Yeah,
boat?
we
the
fly
ship?
from Colombia to سويسرا ومن سويسرا because أبوي بكى معنا.
Okay. So he escorted you, you and your brother.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came to New York?
Yeah.
Did you
From
stay with
Switzerland to
Ammo
New York.
Isa Abdullah?
No.
Okay.
No.
From New York, where did you go?
To Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, to
Because
Birmingham. You have.
أبوي
Mhm.
وعمي عيسى بكوا في Birmingham.
Okay, okay, very good. So, so when you went back to Ramallah, how many times have you gone back to Ramallah since you've been back, since you emigrated?
Several times.
Several times.
I've been there at least 10 times.
Okay, and so you find Ramallah different, a lot different
Oh,
from
yes.
when you.
If you came as a child like me to see it the way it was and to see it today, It's a ton of difference.
Mhm.
It's a much bigger city now. It's makhlutam and all kinds of people from all over the Middle East.
Yes.
Where with us, it was strictly
Just
Ramallah
family.
family. That's
Mm.
all. And
Yeah.
it's just like you watch in Western, you see the families living in one clannish big family. That's how we were.
Mm.
Everybody knew everybody.
Mhm.
It's a big difference.
Yes. So, Auntie, what are your feelings when
لما
you?
رحنا 1999
Yes.
بكت رام الله الساعة كماها زي
من زمان.
متغيرة. أنا كمية أول مشوار روحنا
Mhm.
1999
Okay. So you came in 19, what year to the States?
I came 1965
Okay, and so 1999 was the first time you went back.
رحت بكت ندفى رام الله زي ما هي بس لما رجعنا سنة 2000
Mm-hmm.
نجوز جو اتغيرت بعدين رجعنا على عرس إيبي ابن سلوى في أي سنة قبل 10 سنين
No, I don't think it's been that long.
يا 8 سنين
Yeah,
يا
something like
9
that.
من مرة تغيرت
Mm-hmm. So
Every time you go there, you see changes.
You
It
see
changes
changes.
every day.
it's not the old Ramallah
بعدين
that
6
you.
years ago أخذنا كريستيان عمدناه في الكيامة أمين من مرة
It's changed.
تغيرت
Lots of
Yeah.
changes. It's
Did
not-
you go? Is your home still there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our home
My grandfather's house and his brother,
Mm-hmm.
Muslims took it away from us and they lived there.
Okay, so
And
there's
you
like
can't get 'em
squatters.
out.
والحارة دار إبراهيم جماها وإحنا دارنا بكت فوق عند الجامع دار سيدي جماها زي ما هي
Okay.
ما رحتيش عليها
I didn't.
على
No.
العليا
No. I went
جيب
to. رحت على دار أبوي. دار أبوي كما هناك.
وين دارهم؟
دار طبنجة بتحكي فوق على المنارة عند
على المنارة
قبال دار شو اسمها الاختيارة هاي اللي ماتت عندها البنات هذول شو اسمها اللي على المنارة جنين.
بعرف وين دار طبنجة بدرنا على المنارة
Yeah.
على الحواصل اللي فيهن
Yes. وكروس
اللي
ستريت
فيهن عيسى
كروس ستريت امها لمنى ولهذول.
ياسمين مرشود
Yeah. They're
okay.
right across the street.
Okay.
That
Daddy
was a nice
said that,
area.
yeah, he used to tell me near Hotel Oda come in.
هوتيل رباح
Yeah.
تعرفيش وين؟ ما قالولكش عنه
حد هوتيل أودا قال مش حوالي هناك.
Yeah, Hotel Oud is a little bit down the street
Further
there,
down, okay.
but there's Hotel Dar Rabah is right on the corner there.
Okay. Okay.
I remember exactly.
ما-
It's 1960 when
ما
they.
تحكي على البلد العتيقة Why not؟
I knew who's going to take us. I didn't know.
وردة كان أخذتي
Next time, inshallah. Into you take me. Into you
إن
take
شاء
me.
الله
Into.
وزيجلاته
So,
نجيب عروس عرايس
inshallah.
مال الطيارة عرايس هدي بيطلع هين بيطلع هين
بيطلع
سكرات
إن شاء الله بدنا نجوز كل عايزين
إن شاء
مزبوط
الله.
إن شاء الله
العزبية أيوة.
مزبوط. So tell me, did you both know each other in Ramallah?
Well, as children, we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, that's about
Because
it.
you're cousins too,
Yeah
but you
Yeah.
got married here
Yeah.
in this country. What year did you get married?
66.
1966.
She
Smallah,
came to
52
Maryland.
years.
Yeah.
July 4
Mm-hmm.
I married
Following
Yeah.
April.
خطبت على الكريسماس
In 1966?
Yeah.
وتجوزت على الإيستر
Okay. All right, 1967.
Yeah.
بكليش
No,
4 5
Okay, so you came in 1965.
Yes.
Yeah
Okay, so حطبت
في July 4
Okay, and so then you got engaged that December
Yes.
and got married in 1966
Right.
in
Because
April
I
Yes.
for
remember
Easter.
جينا جولاي في الليل
Uh-huh.
وأبوي أخذني مشبكة ويطلعوا على البيع.
Uh-huh.
أخذني عند العبيد البكي يبيع أغراض.
Uh-huh.
وأنا شفت لك هالشوفة. أخذني للزباين تبعونا. وهالاختيارة كلها هاي ماي دورة وهاد ماي صن. وعبطتنا وحطتنا في حضنها. وبعدين هالعبيد حاطين البيرل يشوى عليه. شو يشوى؟
The barrels with it, they build fire.
Like bonfire,
That's
yeah.
how that
شو
is.
يشوى؟
شو.
الإجرين تبعون التركي. وبعدين جو
Turkey drumsticks.
Yeah, okay.
حاطين على الدرام ستيك
And they chew it on
ولا التركي وانجنيت انجنيت صابني نايت ميت عمني شن العبيد أنا برسي عبيد.
We don't see how people.
I know. That's a fun story.
It is funny.
At 16, I guess it would be like it's a culture shock. So that was probably one of your
Yeah.
first experiences here in
Yes,
this
yes.
country. Okay. So Alma Badr, how was it when you first came here and you saw your father? That you were very young still.
Yeah.
But did you go to school when you came
When I
back?
first came here, like I said, it was September 19th, 1954. I
Okay.
remember that as good as I can see you right now.
Okay.
So school back then started right after Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed in school till June 1st. That's how school was. So, and maybe that's how Niflman does it. So school's already started. Okay, the next week or so after we settled down, she took me to the nearest grammar school in Riverside where we lived. It was called Central Riverside in Riverside right now. I walked in there with her. I have no idea what she's talking to, the lady. The lady was the principal.
You didn't speak English.
I don't understand it. And so, أنا عربي بحكي عربي بحكيش إنجليزي, okay? So she took me to this principal, كلها بتحطها in his school. Well, what grade is he in? I thought he's in 3rd grade, but he's promoted to the 4th grade. And so she said he don't know how to speak English. So the principal, Mrs. McClendon's her name, she reached back in the back, stack of books. She reached up there and got a book. And she was showing my mother, I guess she was telling her, I want him to read and see what he can do. So she gave me the book. I started reading, like you're sitting here reading that paper. I could read fluently, but I don't understand what I'm reading because we don't use it. That teacher took her glasses and she says, I can't believe this boy can read so good and can't speak English. She says, don't you worry about him. So she says, well, put him in the 4th grade. And she says, no, we're going to put him in the 5th grade. As good as he can read. She says, no, I don't want you to make it hard on him. She says, no, if he doesn't make it, we'll pull him back. And then that teacher took me to the 5th grade and put me up in school. I went upstairs and she was telling me these are steps, as I was going on. And she told that teacher, this boy don't speak English, but he will come along. Just be careful with him. And they, وصت علي. Okay. Well, in about a month's time, I was speaking just as good English as everybody else because I already knew how to read and write English. But we don't use it in the old country, so I didn't have any problem. That was the first experience. The next experience was the kids were picking on me because I was a foreigner. Everybody was calling me a damn foreigner. Everybody was from Georgia. Everybody was from Alabama. Teachers, how many were born in Georgia? Because a lot of people were from Georgia back then. Jacksonville was small. Where are you from? I'm from Jerusalem. Well, everybody looked back at me like I was from outer space because they're not used to seeing foreigners. And they look down at you at that time. This is a very prejudiced area. It's not like New York or Connecticut where lots of ethnic people gather and they don't look at you that way. So I had a hard time adjusting, and so after a while I got to make friends and speaking English with them and everything. My sisters had a much harder time because they didn't get the English training that I did. It took them longer. But we assimilated, we became then everybody calling me a damn foreigner. I got tired of it. I said, what do you do to become an American citizen, you know? So we got this CPA to get us the papers from the immigration people. He filled up the papers for me, and he sent them. We paid the money for the photos, and they came back. It wasn't right. So we tried again. It didn't work. So the third, fourth time, I just said, I'll go down to the federal office building. By then, I was in school for a year or two. I maybe became 10, 11, or 12 years old. So I went to the federal office, and I told the lady, I says, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I'm trying to fill these papers. She looked at me, and she says, son, these are the wrong papers. So I'm going to get you the right papers. So she went back and got me the right papers. And I didn't go to the CPA. I just did it myself. I sat all night long checking everything. They want to know what ship you came in, what boat you came in, the dates. I made sure every dots and T's were done. And I sent them in. And
You did that by yourself?
I did it by myself.
Yeah.
And it came through. And they said, well, they'll send after you when you become, you know, they have certain time of the year when they swear you in as an American citizen, as an immigrant. So that day came. You have to have 2 witnesses. It cannot be immediate family. I pulled a circup with me. I took one American customer from my dad's store, and I went there to the federal courthouse. And that man had a table as long as this room with all kinds of papers. I thought it was a bit jelly. He assassinated everything. That was a federal judge, and he was asking, why do you want to be an American citizen? I said, I want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be looked down as a damn foreigner, everybody cussing me out. He just laughed, and he asked me all kinds of questions. Would you fight for this country if you had to? I said, yeah, I consider this as my country, you know. Being in school for a couple of years, I answered all the questions. I knew all the things. You have to know the structure of the government, you know.
Right.
But then after all that, he says, well, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. My mouth dropped. I says, what did I do wrong? He says, you didn't do anything wrong. You're already an American citizen. I cannot make you another American citizen. You cannot be naturalized.
How come you were?
Because my mother was already an American citizen. My dad was already an American citizen.
Okay.
So through them, we became,
naturalized.
He said, you know, you're just as good as any American born, because when you stepped off that plane in New York, that's when you became an American citizen. I didn't know that.
Oh, I
said, all these kids cussing me out. I've been an American citizen all this time.
Yeah.
I was happy as a lark. So when I got home, my dad was happy. He said, now do your sisters the same thing. So I took the papers and did them the same way. And now we all have certificates of proof of citizenship, not because we're naturalized, because when you are American citizen, your mom and dad, and you come here as a young child, automatically you're a citizen. But you have to come here to claim it. You can't have it if you're over there.
Okay.
So that's my story.
I see. That's a cute story. It's a very cool story. This is very interesting, and I'm glad that we're doing this. And so let me ask you, so you got married in 1966, and did you go on a honeymoon?
Yeah.
Where did y'all go?
I took my car and we circled the whole state of Florida.
Okay, very nice.
We spent a night here and a night there. I mean, I went down, and you name it in Florida. I took her everywhere in Florida.
What did you do? How did you make a living back then on that?
I worked with my dad.
Was it a grocery store?
He had a store on State Street.
Okay. I think I kind of remember my mom telling me about it.
Yeah, it was on State Street. Oh, I'd have had small grocery stores back then, you know. So I was helping my dad after school, and when I graduated from school, I wanted to go to college. I couldn't go to college. I had to support the family. My dad left to the old country to see his dad. He says, now you take care of the store. I'm just going to go for a month. He was gone till December, from June till December before he came back.
Wow.
He came a week before Christmas.
So you had to take care of the store.
Right.
How old were you when you got married?
21 or 22, I think.
Okay.
21. Yeah.
And you were like 18, 19, Nancy?
Yeah.
And so you've been married 52 years. How many children and grandchildren do you have?
We got 5 kids and we have 3 grandkids.
Okay. Very good. So these days, hearing about what's happening in Ramallah and Palestine, how does that make you feel? What do you feel about what this administration is doing about giving up Jerusalem to the Israelis, moving the embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv? How does that make you feel?
Well, I feel like, this is the way it is. What can you do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
East Jerusalem is where we grew up, and that's what we know. And I feel like maybe we might be deprived in the future, not have access to the holy shrines.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not right, but hopefully some good will come out of this. I don't know how,
Okay.
but that's how we feel right now.
Okay, very good. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell us about any memories you have in Ramallah or any early memories when you first came to this country? Do you have anything else you'd like to mention?
Well, I mean,
Your kids have have you taught them the pride of their ancestry?
yes, I tell my kids, the relationship of our family, so they'll know who is our cousins, who is their cousins, who is their family. I want them to know the things that I know, and they take and they adapt to that. You
Yeah.
know, especially my oldest son Joe, he knows more because he's the oldest. The younger ones, they're a little bit more leery because they don't see the things.
Mm-hmm.
Like your uncle Ammi Jubran, Alayat Hamel, Ammi Jidius, those are the memories that I really miss because I used to be with those people all the time.
Yes.
And they were also dear to me. Ammi Joe Rukab, Ammi Bulas Rukab, and Ammi Musa. All these uncles, they're gone.
Yes.
And it's hard for my kids to remember the things that I know because they don't see, when you don't see individuals to, correlate who this one belongs to, it's difficult. You hear it, yeah, I know, but then 10 minutes later they forget it.
Yeah.
It's not like when I'm looking at you, I know, inti bin Miriam, inti bin, I'm, ibn Ammi. So, and your dad was so dear to me because he was true Hassasna all the way, and he loved his family so much. And Ammi used to come and visit me in the store all the time. We talk about everybody. I don't have that.
I exactly know what you mean.
The only نادر وجو وضالين بيعرفوا لما نمرق عن دار عم الياس. حياة عم الياس حزين بكي ضل كان على البرج وعنده كاندي دش.
Yeah.
بكي يعطيهن. Oh, the candy man, دار الكاندي man.
Yeah.
That's all. They
Yes.
remember.
I remember a lot of the older people, because I always remember them coming to Dar Sidi or Darna and Han. Yeah, Dar Sidi Jalil or or Sidi Gibran.
Yeah.
We were always at Ammo Jiris's house too.
And بكينا ناخد جو كوشتهم خلكني. No, بكاو. I remember إمك لما بعتت لهم كروس من الجيفت شوب المكان انجن في البابتس. بكي تاخدهن على البيلدينج اللي بكي قاعد فيها. تشيل ما نمرق من غير.
Yes.
عمي جبران بكي.
Yes.
Old man بكينا نيجي نزورهن.
Yes.
كلنا.
And I remember Auntie Dahabia wearing el-thob.
Yes.
At the doctor's office too. I used to say, Mom, shufi hai, and she'd say, hey, Auntie Dahabia, you know. So yeah, those were fun
She came to this
times.
country when she was 93 years old.
She came when she was your aunt.
She's my dad's aunt.
Your dad's aunt.
Not my aunt.
And she came, she's your great aunt.
She's my great aunt. She came here to visit her nephew, my dad, when she was 93 because she heard he had a heart attack. She wanted to see him.
So she came from Ramallah by herself.
By herself, dressed in her
Native thobe.
Yes. And he talked to her to stay here and she had a sister that was blind in the old country. He told her to go back and take care of her, and we put her in a nursing home. And the Rahbat, they are so good, they take care of you, because she couldn't leave her by herself there. And the Muslims over there, they took the house, they tore it down, they broke it up, and she got rid of everything she had and came back. And by the time she came back, my dad passed away. So she stayed with me. He says, if she comes, you take care of her. She stayed with me 13 years.
Wow.
From 93.
I remember there was a newspaper article about her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to tell you a little story عنها. One day, she raised 70 children من دار السنيورة في القدس. She raised them.
How did she?
She was their nanny.
سبع أولاد وبعدين صاروا جوزوا ولدتين وشي raised 70 children.
Wow. She never got married?
No.
The Habia?
Never got married.
Okay.
She raised them. لمنها اجت كانت عندي one of them اجى زارها وبدهن يروحوا على ديزني وهن عابدينها زي امهن.
They love her for that.
Yes, I'm sure.
قال لها بدنا نروح على ديزني وورلد. قال لها انا ما بروح بلا امي، لازم تاخذوا امي معايا. وبدر كل اختيارها بتقدرش تمشي. قال لها doesn't matter، لو بحملها بدي اخذها. which is اخذناها. حطيناها بكت تمشي. قوية. بعدين طلبت مني تروح على الباثروم. وانا طول الوقت اقول لها ستي لازم تلبسي فستان، عيب هين ما حداش بيلبس ثواب. ما تردش عليا، وين ما تروح غير تلبس ثوب والشطوة تبعتها
Even to Disney World?
Even في ديزني وورلد.
Okay.
بعدين طلبت مني تروح على الباثروم. بتعرفي الباثروم تبع ديزني وورلد شلموري. وهي شافت هي عمرها ما بتتمارى إذا كان against God will. عمرها بتشوف مراه. تلبس بتمشط لحالها تشطف وجهها ولا عمرها بتشوف مراه. شافت كل ما هو عالداير كله وشافت كل هالمري صارت تصرخ علي يا كذابة انت بتكذبي علي. بقول لها ليه ستي؟ بتقولي شوفي الفلاحات كلهن هدول شوفي الفلاحات. بتقولي فيش في امريكا فلاحات؟ هدول منين اجوا؟
That's a great story.
That's how she
مرت
believes.
السنيورة عبرت معانا على الباثروم. شو غمت من الضحك. قلت لها يا تيتا يا ماما هذه مراه. قالت لها شيل غاد هذول فلاحات.
Oh my gosh, that's a great story.
It is.
Well, we have wonderful stories to tell our people. You know, it's what is so unique about Ahl Ramallah is that we're one family. You know, we're all one.
When we came here, that's the way it was. One family. Everybody knew everybody. But today, it's a metropolitan.
Yes.
It's not the Ramallah that you probably don't know like I do. Maybe your parents did because they grew up like I did. It's hard for you to realize. Very few people from the original Ramallah people are still there.
I know.
You think نادر بده يروح يعيش غاد?
No.
You think James is gonna go there?
No.
You can't even get James to go visit.
No. But in spite of all of that, we're the family. You know, we have the bloodline. You know, so that's what's important.
Yes.
So, well, thank you both very much.
Thank you.